Taiwan. I'm Liao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The U.S. is looking to take a stake in certain chip companies, and Taiwan's TSMC could be one of them. It's among the firms that got money under the country's CHIPS Act to help build U.S. factories, a program now being targeted by the Trump administration. But the news has triggered uncertainty and unease in Taiwan. John Van Triest reports.
Taiwanese chipmaker TSMC could soon have a powerful new stakeholder, the U.S. federal government. The Trump administration wants equity in companies that build factories in the U.S. with funding under the CHIPS Act. U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick told CNBC this new policy turns what he calls a giveaway to corporate giants into something that benefits the United States.
I mean, why in the world is the United States of America taking money and giving it to companies like TSMC, which is worth $1 trillion? I mean, why would we give them money to come to America? Donald Trump understands how to do this. What he does is he says, if you don't build in America, you're going to pay a 100% tariff, and then watch them come flying in.
The U.S. Commerce Department decided to give TSMC over $6 billion in subsidies at the end of last year. Now, though, in Taiwan, there are worries the Trump administration will strengthen its intervention in the semiconductor industry, a pillar of Taiwan's economy. TSMC has declined to comment, and the economy minister says he's still confirming what's happening.
美国要入主这样的一个说法，我想我刚听到所以我们必须要 在确认这个讯息的大概到什么样的一个程度，那么真正的话会影响到什么程度？我想这个都需要专家的这个评估的。
But Taiwan's stock market hasn't waited for confirmation. TSMC stock dropped 66 U.S. cents at the start of trading Wednesday and continued to slip, with share prices hitting a low of just under $38 US later in the day. It dragged the rest of the market down with it, with the main stock index falling over 600 points. Analysts have big questions about what U.S. government involvement in the industry will mean for TSMC.
那当然，对于台积电，未来其实会牵扯到更多来自于美方地缘政治上的一个压力。那么，甚至对于台积电在技术的一个主导权，甚至企业的一个自主性，都会受到一个比较不利的一个影响。
And it's not just TSMC. Other big industry players also face a U.S. attempt to gain some influence through equity. The questions now are whether this attempt will work and how the companies involved will respond. Luffy Li and John Van Triest for TaiwanPlus.
While Taiwan's trade talks with the U.S. continue, the current 20% tariff is already straining local businesses. As Aichi explains, some companies have reduced work hours as they seek ways to counter the impact.
Hundreds of companies in Taiwan are cutting back operations as they struggle with U.S. tariffs. According to the Labor Ministry, some 2,000 employees have been affected, mostly in the metal and machinery manufacturing sectors. One machine tool company, Taiwan Takisawa, has shortened its work week for 3 months as they grapple with challenging economic conditions.
关税跟汇率的 两个双重的夹击下，这些产业呢，在未来的经营环境，恐怕呢，到时候会有很多家工具机业者呢，周休3日，甚至周休4日。
Aside from traditional industries, tariffs are also hitting Taiwan's industry across the board, including the tech sector. Industry insiders say it has some companies pooling their resources.
我们在面对这样的环境底下，是一个区域制造的一个发展趋势。那我们电电工会也在努力，来看看在重要的市场地区做这个实体的 TIMA 的科学园区的建制。
TIMA, the Taiwan Electrical and Electronic Manufacturers Association, says it will set up technology parks in the U.S. or Mexico or other developing countries to offset the impact of current tariffs and the ongoing U.S. Section 232 tech trade talks. Experts say a wave of companies' relocation is inevitable, with medium-sized firms mostly able to manage, while small businesses will likely struggle.
跟美国政府争取所谓的保税专区，也就是说，在这个地区里面的所有的进出口，其实都可以有免税的优惠，这样子才可以有效的降低这些中小型企业的成本。
To help Taiwanese firms cope, the government is considering increasing subsidies, helping them upgrade or transform their operations. It's also aiming to boost Taiwan's long-term global competitiveness. Klein Wan, NIT for TaiwanPlus.
Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has wrapped up a visit to India. The two sides have agreed to take steps to de-escalate tensions at a time when both are facing challenges from the United States. After 5 years of frigid relations, there seems to be a thaw in China-India ties. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi wrapped up a 2-day visit to India, meeting with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This is a significant diplomatic development in the region as border disputes cast a shadow over bilateral relations. In 2020, Indian and Chinese troops clashed at their shared border, leaving dozens of soldiers dead. Both Modi and Wang expressed willingness to rebuild ties. Modi also accepted an invitation to attend a summit in China later this month. But there was one aspect of Wang's visit that China and India might not agree on, and that's Taiwan. In a statement, the Chinese side said that India recognized Beijing's claim that Taiwan is part of China. The Indian Foreign Ministry quickly said in its own statement that there was no change in the country's position on the issue, and that New Delhi has a relationship with Taipei that focuses on economic, technological, and cultural connections. Taiwan was quick to condemn China for distorting information.
中国片面宣称，印度方表明，台湾是中国的一部分，这又再一次印证中方擅自操弄扭曲资讯以及无中生有的伎俩。对于中国一再罔顾事实及误导国际视听的不当行径，外交部要表达严厉谴责。
This meeting between China and India comes at a time when both countries are facing heightened tensions with the United States over President Donald Trump's tariff policies. The two biggest countries in the world may be trying to build bridges in the face of challenges presented by the world's biggest economy. Howard Zhang and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus. A think tank in Taiwan is meeting to discuss their recent report showing that Taiwan's undersea cables have faced increased threats over the past 3 years. These incidents are part of China's gray zone warfare strategy, putting strain on Taiwan's defenses while stopping short of all-out war. To find out how Taiwan can respond, our reporter Alan Liu spoke with one of the authors of the report, Chen Da-chen, from the Research Institute for Democracy, Society, and Emerging Technology, or DSET.
Your report says the key to countering China's gray zone activity lies in legitimacy and addressing them through norms. Can you explain what it means in practice?
For a democratic country, it is very important that you address these issues that followed by the international norm. Essentially, you really need to rely on the existing tool and the existing norm to uphold your legitimacy. And this is very important for not just for the international audience, and also very important for your domestic audience. So you need to make sure that your policy is correct, it's done on a very reliable basis, and follow the norm.
You also suggest policymakers should gather solid proof that the vessels belong to the gray zone actors. For example, China. Why is that important?
There's a very high threshold of legal attributions. You need to make sure that that vessel is conducted by a gray zone state actor. So while this report, we do consider that this is legally possible to raise a countermeasure to prevent. So while the extent of the countermeasure is still debatable, and this should be determined on a case-by-case basis, but what is certain is that you really need to make sure that you have the right case.
What are some of the biggest challenges you've found in how Taiwan could counter China's gray zone activity, like cutting undersea cables?
The gray zone activity is like a catch-all phrase. You can definitely sweep everything under that, just call it a gray zone activity. So you want to address the whole idea of gray zone activity, you consider this is a very extraordinary measure. I think we need to understand the issue correctly. We don't simply just frame it as a gray zone activity. You need to have a more concrete intelligence. And also you need to realize you have available tool under the international norm to address this issue as neutral and it's actionable, but you need to have more information so you can gather the momentum and you can gather the consensus.
That was Chen Da-chen from the Research Institute for Democracy, Society, and Emerging Technology. As Taiwan prepares to vote on whether to restart its last nuclear plant, people on both sides of the debate are holding public rallies.
但是这些核能复兴还没有在数据上或在产业规模下真正落实，它可能更多的像是我们可以说在这个金融投资里面的一些投资的，不管是公关宣传词也好，政治宣传词也好。那现在的现况，其实在国际上再生能源才是真正趋势，而不是核能了。
Supporters of nuclear power have been out in force too. Opposition Taiwan People's Party Chair Huang Guochang says nuclear is key to Taiwan's national security, adding that Japan is looking to keep nuclear as a key part of its energy mix. Voters will cast their ballots on Saturday. Humanoid robots are taking over. Once considered science fiction, the market for these bots is projected to be worth $5 trillion by 2050. While Taiwan is not yet producing humanoids at scale, it has a vibrant industry that's making key components. Chris Gorin has more.
浓浓的台湾味，不但能看、能听、能说，还不断学习。
This is the Unitree H1, an AI-powered humanoid robot. It's designed to perform a range of tasks, from industrial inspection to personal assistance. It's made in China, but Taiwanese companies are tailoring the bots for Taiwan's market.
那基本上我们是在做机器人的系统整合跟开发。那我们会依照客户的需求，然后规划最适合的机器人。机器人在我们眼中，它就是一个会移动的电脑。啊，那就像你买了电脑之后，其实所有的功能都是你要自己加上去的嘛。那一样，对，所以对我们来说，机器人所有的功能都是我们把它加上去的。
The bots are a headline act at Automation Taipei, an annual showcase of smart machinery and robotics. Humanoid robots like these are no longer science fiction. In fact, they represent a market that's set to explode. And while Taiwan may not yet be producing them at scale, that doesn't mean they're not trying to get in on the action. Analysts at Morgan Stanley say humanoids could grow into a $5 trillion market by 2050. Taiwanese companies supply parts in critical areas such as system integration, controllers, motion, and vision. One example is Solomon, which makes robot vision software for humanoids.
So today's the market. There's a lot of humanoid around the market, no matter from China, US, or Europe. But the problem is they all mainly focus on the hardware itself. Then definitely the need, for example, we need to add on the vision and another brain thinking weight for the humanoid itself. So we can allow the humanoid to look in distance and capture different things in different objects as well.
Humanoids aren't the only game in Robot Town. The backbone of automation today is still industrial robots. These machines are the workhorses of modern factories, assembling everything from cars to smartphones. And the market is overwhelmingly centered in Asia, which in 2023 accounted for 70% of all new industrial robot installations, many of which are in Taiwan's key industries.
目前最大的应该是电子产业，对，电子比较广泛的应用在，例如说印刷电路板，或者是半导体这一些会比较多一些。那其他产业像机械加工。 像其他的各种食品啦，或者是物流啦，也都有。
From fabs to factory floors, Taiwan is set for the humanoid era. Taiwan electronics giant Foxconn, along with chipmaker NVIDIA, are slated to release their first humanoid bot this year. And with that, Taiwan just might help give the future its legs. Patrick Chun and Chris Gorin for TaiwanPlus.
And thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with dramatic scenes from inside the eye of Hurricane Erin, captured as a U.S. Air Force plane flew through it. I'm Leslie Liao. Take care and see you next time.
How does Taiwan stay on the forefront of innovation in a world of uncertain tariffs, wars, and shifting geopolitics? Get answers and more. From award-winning programs to exclusive Mandarin dramas. Download the TaiwanPlus app to any device today. No ads, no bias, just facts. TaiwanPlus.